Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Wednesday, September the 7th. So I hope you're having a good morning so far. It's a nice bright sunny day. I'm having my cup of tea. This morning I'm having lemon ginger, which is a lovely drink. It's very refreshing, and I often have just lemon by itself. I'd like to know what your morning drink is. What kind of tea do you prefer? But anyway, hope that you're doing well. I would like to bring you up to speed on some of the items in the news and then give us a few feel-good stories are really specific to our demographic, to our age and group of women here in 60 and Me community. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm really glad to have you here. Please get settled, relax, and this is just remember, this is our time, your time as well. If you've got any comments as we go through the news today, please leave it in the section below and we'll start a conversation. That's what this whole morning show is about, for us to get together, have a cup of tea, have a chat, and you just feel that we're connected to the world and also, making the most of this amazing time that we have. So, in the United States, I'll just catch you up very quickly. Of course, the corner has turned now. The final, sprint to the finish date of November the 8th is underway. There's going to be a debate in September on the 27th. So all the issues that you've been thinking about are going to be out there and being discussed. But right now there's a lot of discussion about polls and anticipation of who's ahead. And all I would say is there are so many channels right now that you can go to learn all about the election, get all the detailed information and polls that are being taken, and just enjoy the journey. I'm going to cover at a very high level. And I think that's probably the best place to stay with it, since it changes every single minute. So in the UK, I'll give you a quick update on some news there. There's a man called Ajman Chowdhury. He was a lawyer turned radical Islamic preacher, and for many years he has been really endorsing the Islamic State group, and not enough to be arrested and convicted. But yesterday he was found guilty of inciting and encouraging people to support the Islamic State movement, and he's now been put in jail for 5.5 years, along with an accomplice. So that's interesting news from the UK. In France, we've been talking a lot recently about the situation with migrants in Calais, but actually there's a lot of people living on the street now in Paris, migrants and refugees. So the mayor of Paris is a woman who is very a caring person, and is trying to figure out how to help the people in Paris. There's 15,000 migrants and refugees in Paris, many without places to sleep. So she is now going to open 2 refugee centers, one in the north of Paris for men only, and one in the southwest, I believe, or southeast for women and families. So that's a start. They open in October. And it'll be just the beginning of a long journey to accommodate these people. And talking about just normal people, I just got some news today about very bad storms and floods that they're having in North Korea. And we always talk about the political lens on North Korea, and sometimes forget that there are people just like you and me behind the scenes, living their lives, just trying to raise children and have a good life. And now about 40,000 of them are homeless. Many have been killed, about 40 people it's reported. And they are just trying to live their lives in the midst of another treat from Mother Nature. So let's wish them well. Hope that everybody in North Korea is doing well. Despite all the politics, there are just people behind the scenes, and I'd like to remember them. And talking about great people, the Paralympics have just begun, or are beginning today, in Brazil. There's been a gap between the Olympics and now the Paralympics start. And these are the games where for people who have got some disability. And it's just remarkable to hear these stories. When I was a little girl, my dad used to always say something like, I cried because I had no shoes until I saw a man that had no feet. And it's so easy to make comparisons and to feel that, we have something that we should feel sorry about. But these people at the Paralympics are extraordinary. All of them have had some challenge in their life, physical challenge, And there they are right now competing. There will be about 4,300 of these athletes competing in, I think it's, I'm looking at the number, 526 medals, 22 different sports. And so they are competing in all kinds of areas. And every day you're going to hear a story on the news about one of these people just doing incredible things despite their disability. And the one I just picked up today is a young man, 16 years old. He had meningitis when he was 6. He's a quadriplegic. He's got four of his limbs were removed. So but he's a swimmer. And the story is just remarkable. His name is Theo Curlin. He's on the French team, and he'll be swimming for the gold. And I mean, I've seen pictures of him and just seen him interviewed. He's just got such a positive attitude to life, and he said he feels free in the water, free of his disability and able to really shine. And I just wish them all the very best. They just deserve our support and our encouragement. And there's another woman I wanted to mention too. She's kind of cool, and her name is Zure Marcano. She is 62, and she is a Venezuelan powerlifter. This is her second trip to the Paralympic Games, and I just hope she does well. She's amazing. She's, just 60. Well, not that she's 62 means anything for you and I, because we know you can do anything you want in your 60s. But she's great, and she said, "I want to try to inspire people and show them that you can still lead a healthy and productive life when you are in your 60s." And she didn't mention her disability. She just said, when you're in your 60s, we can do this. We got it. So a quick story about, things that are going to perhaps help us with our health as we get older. And trust me, before I start, I have to say, I'm not a doctor. I have no medical training. So I am reporting this news story just as I've read it, and with no judgment or recommendation. It's just what it is. And it's a story about a new Alzheimer's drug trial that's been happening. And of course, the doctors are trying to look at, what causes Alzheimer's, and they think it's something to do with brain proteins, that somehow affect memory loss. So they've discovered there's this antibody, and it's called, I've got to read this, it's aducanumab. Now, why can't they make it an easier name? But aducanumab, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But anyway, it's an antibody. And they've discovered that, they thought, well, what if we inject this into patients with Alzheimer's and just see what happens if we increase the dose, look at different dosages, see, because they had a hint that this might work. So what they did is they took 165 people. They gave 40 of them a placebo. So they got nothing. They did not get the drug. But the others, they gave injections of this antibody, and it was amazing. Of the 103 people who actually were given the injections, all of them, every single one, experienced a reduction in the amount of this thing called amyloid deposits in their brain. And doctors have made some association between Alzheimer's and these amyloid deposits. So that every single one who got the injection reduced the amount of deposit in their brain. So this is really fascinating research. I mean, it's been promoted on the news item that I read as being a true breakthrough. They've never really been able to see how they can affect the development of these deposits with an injection of an antibody. So it's good news. And I mean, just keep looking at these stories, because, I mean, as I said before, if we stay ahead of technology, all these things that we don't have answers for right now may be solved, or at least partially solved. It'd be wonderful news for all those people who are dealing with Alzheimer's. Now, another story about good health and in this case, longevity. It's about a town in Italy. It's not far from Naples, so it's not too far from me, where basically there are 300 people over the age of 100, just in this one town. And there's 300, and it represents 1/3 of the population of the town. So 300 people over 100 years of age. And so scientists went there to find out what was going on. How are these people living so long? Of course, it's the magic. What are the magic foods they eat? What are the things they do with exercise? And what they found, well, there's many things. I'll leave the link to this so you can read it all. But they found a couple of things. One is that they eat a lot of fish and anchovies and fresh vegetables. It's kind of the Mediterranean diet that we hear so much about, but this is very specific: fish, anchovies. And the other thing that they eat a lot of is rosemary. The herb, rosemary. They put that, according to these researchers, in just about everything they eat. So anchovies and rosemary seem to be two very important things for their diet. Now, they also mention that their blood, they did some blood tests, and that it contains a certain hormone. It's a unique genetic makeup to people in this area. Now, I hunted high and low to get more information about this, but I don't think we could implant it in us, even if we tried. It's something in their genes. So longevity, the long and short is that longevity is a product of genetic makeup, but also diet and lifestyle. One thing they also mention is these people know how to relax. They have a special word for it, to basically slow down. And in the evenings, it says they just sit around, have a cup of tea and a drink, and chat with each other. They just take it easy. And that's not just the 300 over 100, but everybody in that village. That's their lifestyle. So anyway, some ideas maybe for you. And I just wanted to close with an article that I found yesterday by a woman called Barbara Waxman. Now, Barbara wrote an article that appeared in several places, and I looked at it on Next Avenue, but it was also on Forbes. Really interesting article. It's kind of an article that helps us as older women to feel good about where we are right now and how we're living in what she calls middle sense. Not adolescence, but middle sense. And it says age between 45, 65, where we are full of potential. Where we've gone through the sort of various stages of development and growth and relationships and learning, and now we're in this special place. And so she says she has a very great article. You should read it. It's fascinating. But basically, there are three things about this newest stage that we can highlight that really show it's the best time ever for women and men our age. So, first thing is, she says we're happier. This is all backed up by research. I think it's Harvard Harris poll, very famous poll, did this research and showed that people over 46 start getting happier. There's a little dip around 45, 46, and then you start getting happier. And over 60, you're the happiest you're ever going to be, and it keeps getting better. So that's the first thing. We're happier. Second thing is we're living longer. Did you know that we're living a full 3 decades longer than people who were born in the 1900s? 30 extra years. So this is the third act that Jane Fonda talks about, and it's also what Barbara Waxman talks about in this article. We've added this whole new stage to our lives. And not only that, it's the third thing that we have the tools to help us take advantage of that, to help us to grow strong physically. We have resources to stay healthy with our brain and body, nutrition, health, exercise. And we also have resources like 60andMe and also like other communities that support us on the journey to, the social aspect of being happy in our 60s. And we can somehow, through these resources, turn the wisdom into action and do things to make us healthy and happy in our 60s. So middle sense is our new 3 decades to enjoy. It's time to take chances, make choices, as Barbara says, to take risks. We can do it, and it's there for all of us to enjoy. So I have a quote for the day. And this quote I love. It's when I saw it. I forget where I saw it. It didn't have any acknowledgement. It just said, here we go. Ready? It says, looking good is secondary. Having a healthy relationship with your body should be a priority. So, just be who you are, dress the way you want, just travel in this world the way that makes you happy. But have a healthy body and have a good relationship with your body. Accept it and love it. So, my question for the day is, are you happier now in your 60s than you were when you were younger? Leave your comments in the section below. I'd really love to have a conversation on this. I'm very curious as to what you say. And before I say goodbye, just one quick request for you is if you enjoy these mornings with 60andMe, please go up to 60andme.com and register so you can get the news first. And tell a friend. I would personally love your feedback on this show. I'd love you to tell me whether you think we've got the balance right. whether you want more news stories or whether you want more feel-good articles. Are there certain topics that you'd like us to talk about and to share with each other? As I said before, it's your show, this is your time. I want you to feel comfortable here, and I want to be offering you the information and the news that you want. So that's one special request from me today. And then the question to leave you with is, are you happier in your 60s than you were when you were younger? Look forward to your comments, everyone. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow for Mornings with 60 and Me. Bye for now.